All right, let's get right into it. For the last couple of years, the whole story around AI has been about one thing: getting bigger. Bigger models, bigger data, just bigger everything. But what if I told you the biggest story in AI right now is actually small? Yeah, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a quiet revolution that's happening just beneath the surface. In this quote right here, it just completely flips the script. This whole idea that bigger is always better in AI, it's getting turned on its head. We're seeing this massive shift in how businesses are thinking about using artificial intelligence. And it's a move away from those giant one-size-fits-all models. So to really get what's happening, we got to start with the big guys, right? The titans of the AI world that have been grabbing all the headlines and really capturing our imaginations. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. So when we talk about a large language model, an LLM, I want you to picture the entire National Library. It's been fed a mind-boggling amount of information from pretty much the entire internet. It can write poetry, it can draft marketing emails, it can answer almost any question you throw at it. It's unbelievably powerful and versatile. But just like a real library, it comes with all that weight and complexity. You can't just stuff it in your pocket. Okay, but here's where the plot thickens. We're seeing this new class of AI pop up. And they're not here to replace the giants. They're here to do very specific jobs, but better, faster, and way more efficiently. So it's time to meet the specialist. Right, so if that LLM is the giant national library, a small language model, or SLM, is like a pocket-sized travel dictionary. It's not trying to be a know-it-all. Instead, it's super lightweight. It's been trained on a very specific, carefully chosen set of data, and it's built to do one thing absolutely perfectly, like, say, translating a few key phrases, summarizing a customer support call, or analyzing a legal document. Now, you might be thinking this is just a classic David versus Goliath story, but it's really not that simple. For any business out there, choosing between a giant generalist and a small specialist means thinking about some really critical trade-offs. So let's actually dig into what those are. Okay, let's just look at this side by side. LLMs, their whole goal is broad knowledge, and they pretty much always live in the cloud. They're powerful for sure, but that means they're also slower to respond, they cost a fortune, and this is a huge one for businesses, your data has to be sent out to someone else. SLMs, they just flip that whole equation. They're specialists. They can run on your own phone, on your own computer. That makes them faster, way cheaper, and most importantly, your data never has to leave your control. And let's just talk about cost for a second, because these numbers are wild. I mean, look at this. Over $100 million just to train one of these top-of-the-line LLMs. For most companies, that's not just expensive, it's impossible. It's a complete non-starter. SLMs, though, they can be trained and tweaked for a tiny fraction of that, which basically means more people get access to powerful AI. And then there's speed. Just look at the difference here. That little delay, what we call latency, might not seem like a big deal, but in the real world, it's everything. It's the difference between a smooth, helpful chatbot and that frustrating, laggy one that makes you want to pull your hair out. Because they run locally, SLNs can respond in a flash. That speed is an absolute game changer for anything happening in real time. But, for a lot of businesses, the biggest win of all is privacy. Since SLMs are small enough to run on your own servers, we call that on-premise, your most sensitive data stays put. It stays safe behind your firewall. You don't have to send private customer info or legal documents over the internet. This slashes security risks and makes it way easier to follow strict rules like HIPAA and GDPR. Some people are even calling it sovereign AI, which is this cool idea that you truly own and control your own intelligence. Okay, so we have talked theory. The tech specs are cool, but where is the rubber actually meeting the road? Where are businesses putting these small but mighty models to work right now? Let's see how this all moves from an idea to a reality. Take retail, for example. SLMs are already having a huge impact. Picture this. You walk into a store, and there's a kiosk that acts as a personal shopping assistant. It gives you recommendations, but your personal data never, ever leaves the store. Or think about all those customer service chatbots that have to handle thousands of questions at once. With SLMs, they can do it instantly and for a lot less money. This isn't some far-off future. It's happening today. Now, in fields where trust is everything, like healthcare and finance, the privacy part is an absolute game changer. SLMs can power medical tools that analyze patient data right there in the doctor's office, keeping it totally confidential.
In finance, they can check for fraud in real time, right on your phone, before a bad transaction even goes through. These are jobs where speed and security are completely non-negotiable. And it's the exact same story in the legal world. Law firms can use SLMs to pore over incredibly sensitive contracts without that information ever leaving their own secure network. This is leading to this concept of augmented intelligence, where the AI does all the heavy lifting, sifting through millions of pages, which frees up the human lawyers to focus on what they do best, strategy and making the big decisions. So, after all this, does it mean it's curtains for the giant LLMs? No way, not at all. The real story here is a lot more interesting. What we're really seeing is the beginning of a brand new, much more diverse AI ecosystem.
I think the absolute best way to picture this is the Swiss Army knife versus the scalpel. An LLM, that's your Swiss Army knife. It's awesome, it's versatile, it's great for brainstorming or creative stuff. An SLM, on the other hand, is a scalpel. It's a precision tool designed to do one specific job with incredible speed and accuracy. You wouldn't use a scalpel to open a can of beans, and you definitely wouldn't use a Swiss Army knife for brain surgery. It's all about using the right tool for the job.
So the future isn't about one of them winning. It's about a hybrid approach. The smartest companies are going to use a whole fleet of models. Massive LLMs in the cloud for big picture thinking, working hand in hand with these secure, specialized SLMs that handle all the sensitive, real-time tasks. They're not competing. They're complementing each other perfectly. Which really brings us full circle, doesn't it? The rise of these small language models proves that in AI, being precise and focused can be way more powerful than just having raw size. The smartest solution isn't always the biggest one. So as this tech becomes more common, running on our phones, in our cars, in our offices, it makes you think, what specific problem are you going to solve with it first?